Starting from the foot of Snow Mountains on the Qinghai Tibet Plateau, the Jingsha River roars downwards. In Yunnan province, it snakes through Diqing Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture, with verdant xerothermic valleys lying among mountain peaks covered with snow all year round. In villages and towns, people from 26 ethnic groups like Tibet, Lisu, Han, Naxi, Yi, Bai, and Hui live in harmony and happiness in the miraculous, peaceful, and tranquil Shangri-La. Jingsha River, once witnessing the sudden and perplexing changes in history here, is still nourishing the beautiful creatures on both sides of it. These river crossings are witness to history, to the oppressive and backward feudal serfdom system, stepping down from the stage of history. The fruitful results of the ethnic equality principle promoted by the Chinese workers and peasants' Red Army, and slaves standing up to be free men.
85年前，红26军团的其中一支队伍呢，就是从我们现在所在的石乡村渡口渡过了金沙江，进入了咱们狄庆藏族自治州。
By late April 1936, to get rid of the massive chasing enemy forces, more than 18,000 soldiers of the 2nd and 6th Corps of the Chinese Workers and Peasants' Red Army, under the leadership of the Communist Party of China, started to cross Jingsha River from 7 crossings. It took them 19 days to do so, and they marched through 405 kilometers, passing 114 hamlets in 22 administrative villages of 7 towns in Zhongdian, now called Shangri-La, Diqing Prefecture. The footprints left by the 2nd and 6th Corps in Diqing are an important part of the long march by the Chinese Workers and Peasants' Red Army, and also glorious way of Chinese communists seeking ideals and beliefs.
"我家这所老宅子呢，是1906年由我的曾祖父一砖一瓦亲自建盖起来的，至今已经有115年的历史。我们家这个祖宅呢，还曾经住过一个很特别的人。红军长征途中留下了一位伤员住在我们家的祖宅里边，大概待了半年左右吧。枪伤愈合以后呢，就在我们这里边安家落户了。
This ancestral house is more than 100 years old. It's built by He Jianqu's grandfather, who was a carpenter. The ancestral residence looks quite old after years of wind erosion. 1 year ago, the 42-year-old He Jianque quit his job and devoted himself to the development of his hometown. His goal was to run a red tourism business and be a practitioner of rural revitalization. He set his sights on his ancestral house. He hoped to reconstruct this house into a Red Army memorial hall that, with an innovative design and offering immersive experiences, could better promote the Red culture among young people. He does this at his own cost, which often leaves him in financial trouble. Yet whenever he visits a new crossing at a new battle site the Red Army passed and where they fought, he tells himself he must accomplish this mission. A widow of a Red Army soldier still living motivates her Jin Chu to forge ahead through thick and thin by sharing her memories of those eventful years.
头发丝都看得见，就是眼睛小根。红军长征过程中，面对千难万难、勇往直前的这种精神，永远不会过时。它应当成为我们今天建设美丽家乡、追求幸福生活的精神力量。
These crossings and battle sites are exactly a group of fire stealers. They engraved the ideals of great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation, individual liberation, and a free and all-round development in mountains and valleys. Forming the most precious spiritual genealogy and a benchmark of the nation, they light the history and inspire the future. This is the first bay of Jingsha River. Pouring down from Qinghai Tibet Plateau, the Jingsha River makes a sudden turn here and thus enables a world natural heritage. The three paralleled rivers. At the foot of the first bay of the Jingsha River is an important stop on the ancient Tea-horse road, Benzilan town. This is a section of the ancient Tea-horse road. Later, the Benzilan section of Yunnan Tibet Highway. More than 60 years ago, the people of all ethnic groups in Benzilan cooperated with PLA on building this great road to Tibet. Their efforts have paid a solid foundation for the fast development of the Qing and even the whole Yunnan and Tibet areas today. This highway, once a road to assist Tibet, has been a way of opening up and development and a path to revitalize tourism. By the ancient path, the garment and souvenir store of Zha Shi opens to customers at 8:30 a.m. every day. This is Tibetan national clothing store. The Guozhuan dance dresses, the most representative products, are made by Zha Shi's wife, Timei, by hand. Timei started to learn to make Tibetan clothes when she was 16. She's a pioneer of Guozhuan dance dress in Benzilan town.
我这一辈子只做一件事，就是做这个藏族服饰嘛。我是藏族服饰是从拉萨学过来的，学了3年嘛。我的师傅叫那个罗桑尼妈妈。
Tibetan people wear Guozhuan dance dresses when they do the Guozhuan dance. As one of the 3 folk dances of Tibetan people, Guozhuan dance evolved from mysterious sacrificial ceremonies. Now it has been a square dance for local people to celebrate festival and express happiness and to enjoy life in slack seasons. After 40 years of development, Benzilan Guozhuan dance dresses have been on the intangible cultural heritage list of Diqing Prefecture. Today, the community culture hall of Benzilan town placed an order with Timei. They need a batch of Guozhuan dance dresses to be newly designed and made for the Guozhuan dance performance in the town 10 days later. Timei plans to assign this task to her elder daughter. A year ago, Peasant succeeded her mother's cause and became an inheritor of Benzilan Guozhuang dance dress, an intangible cultural heritage.
它工序很多，主要是它的工序太繁杂了，一会儿要手工，一会儿又要裁剪，一会儿又画画剪剪啊，一会儿又机器缝。本子兰服装它最主要的一个代表性的图案是那个就像一个云朵一样，就是那个佛手花。粘的时候也是要很仔细。我刚刚开始学的时候掌握不好，它就形状就出不来。我妈的话就是她可以把那个感觉就是像画上去，很还原那个图案的形状。我的话就是歪歪扭扭的。
Peasant wasn't planned to make Guozhuang dance dresses for a living. A year ago, Timay's successor, Lai Joy, her younger daughter, passed away after 15 years of fight with cancer.
当时她身体还允许的时候，她也会教我，有些手工的东西都是她教我的。现在我们的那个新产品木偶娃娃也是她教我。
When she was accompanying her sister, Peasant realized her mother's losing the successor to her craftsmanship. So, she gave up her dream for the outside world and returned home along the same road she left home 10 years ago.
我的大女儿边珠现在回来了，接我的班，做自己的那个家业，我也很高兴，我也很放心她。
Although Peasant has succeeded her mother's craftsmanship, she has a lot more to learn from her. Today, Timay specially takes Peasant to Chengdu to replenish their material stock. To make a good Guozhuang dance dress, one should be particular ever since the material selection.
有机你看看吗？这个，
这个没有点这么乱扎的，乱扎的。
那我说是拿上面那个。
After a repeated comparison in the whole morning, they finally found what they need.
6块钱的大。
It's only 4 days from the deadline. Peasant must have finished the dresses independently in 4 days. Since having been to the outside world, she has new understanding of and ideas for Guozhuang dance dresses.
我们两个就是有些时候做衣服的时候，他坚持他的意见，我会提我的意见。我们休闲的时候也可以穿着一个有藏族原色的服装，比方说一个 T 恤或者是一个外套，就是有个给它融入这些那种藏族的特色。
Materials of Peasant Guozhuang dance dresses are up to date. People used to sew fur to the dress. As the environment protection philosophy gets popularized, our Guozhuang dance dress is also updating with the times.
像以前的话，我们那个男士的服装是比较简便，虽然是简便，但是它的用材料就是很讲究。像头上的话是狐狸皮，后面慢慢开始人们都是有这个因为国家也宣传保护动物，然后再一个的话是藏族的信仰，就是说不杀生，因果轮回啊，信仰比较重，藏族的人的话，然后就慢慢的这些就越来越少了。
After more than 1 week of preparation and hard work, Peasant succeeded in making Guozhuang dance dress combining the traditional and modern elements, handing over a neoteric work to her mother. From an ancient road stop to a lively town, Benzalam moves forward in the surging tide of the times. While inheriting its tradition, is not conservative. And while innovating, it respects the old days. The ancient culture is giving off new glory, just like the Guozhuang dance handed down from 100 years ago. It seems that new vigor and vitality is being brought to the dance at the moment.
我要把它做好，我做好了，可能我妹妹在天上看着我呢，如果我做不好的，她会不会还在旁边跟我说，啊，姐姐你这里没对，应该这样那样。
The Gangchu River is the first branch of Jingsha River. The suspension bridge has been here spanning the river for more than 100 years. In memory of the Red Army crossing the river through this bridge, local people call it the Red Army Bridge. Looking at this bridge, we could still have some knowledge of the perils of the Red Army went through crossing the Gangchu River in those days. Wang Dui and Zhuo Ma used to live by the Guangchu River. In 2013, an earthquake hit Shangri-La, damaging houses in the village. Shangjiaotou village was relocated to an expansive valley in Ho. Villagers were provided with new dwellings, and Shangjiaotou village was renamed Xingfu Village, Happy Village. Her former cabin was turned into a wooden bowl workshop. Zhuoma works here every day. Zhuoma learned to make wooden bowls from the Zhangkangda family when she was 17. Later, she fell in love with and was married to Wang Dui in that family. They have been making wooden bowls for nearly 40 years by the Red Army Bridge.
我祖上一直在做木碗，然后我父亲的话是19岁的时候呢，被人聘请到西藏博达拉宫做木碗，至今还有他做的木碗在博达拉宫里面有保留。
那木碗是好几种呢，喇嘛用的，我们老百姓用那个。
Wooden bowls are the tableware used by Tibetan people in their whole life. They take it wherever they go. No matter traveling, hiking, spending the Linka festival, or attending a wedding ceremony, there is a saying among Tibetan people that a wooden bowl is to accompany a person in his whole life. Today, the exquisite wooden bowls are sold as souvenirs and brought all over the world.
竹器那个是手上那个器，先是熬起来的是白白的，加工呢先是复杂一点的，它是熬的时候是手全部拉完掉的嘛。木碗也好，砧板好也好，2刀3刀，有些木碗上4刀来的器器呢。一个木碗是那个差不多80多年嘛，有些是差不多100多年来那个，那些还是一样的，没有变嘛。 一个木碗做出来嘛，差不多有些时候4个月来那个。摸一下啊，这样子摸一下。 这个比是好花些，软一点的可以。
Lurong Joma is one of the 3 provincial-level intangible heritage inheritors in the village. There would be visitors following the footsteps of the Red Army in the past and crossing the Red Army Bridge here to experience this craftsmanship every day. Today, Tsili Zoma, engaged in women's work in grassroots communities for years, is here too, to listen to the stories of Lurong Joma, and thereby she could further understand the development of Tibetan female.
过去的很多的妇女，她们小的时候没有机会出去学习过，但是呢，她们通过做一个这样的手工艺品，有一个自己热爱的事情，然后这个事情不只是为了生活，而是这个事情能够带给你尊严，带给你快乐，这就是幸福。
Since getting to learn wooden bowl making by chance when she was little, Zhuoma's whole life was changed. This hardworking woman embarked on a journey to happy and well-loved life, living an impressive witness of an era. Dukezong Ancient Town is a 1,300-year-old moonline town. Here, the Diqing Red Army Long March Museum is a landmark of Shangri-La. When crossing Diqing Prefecture, the Chinese workers and peasants' army stationed here 85 years ago. When night falls, the ancient town is lit up, resplendent and lively. At the foot of Mount Guishan, lights in Arakamba are on. The word Arakamba means friends welcome in Tibetan. It's a B&B in Shangri-La. Many visitors to Shangri-La from afar choose to stay here. Yet what they want is actually to meet the owner of the B&B, Jaba Gedan. Jaba Gedan is a famous person in Shangri-La.
我其实并非出生在香格里拉，我是16岁从印度回来的。
The 16-year-old Jaba Gedan returned to his hometown Shangri-La with his father 33 years ago. It's a tough journey.
我父亲当年也是走茶马古道做生意的，我就是在印度出生。小时候也曾在印度寺庙当过喇嘛。直到80年代，我父亲快60岁了，他就想着一定要回家乡。
As the saying goes in Tibetan, when getting old, birds should return to trees and human their hometowns. The father was back in his hometown, and with him is his beloved son.
我是17岁进小学1年级，我回来后一点汉语都不会讲，一句都不会，真的。
你不用难过，不要伤心，你把腰带静一下，这样去干事情。现在
不是哑巴了吗？
现在还是不对，有点
就这两个。
对，随便打磨一下。前次你第一次相亲的时候，有一种打磨的感觉。比那个深了嘛，可是，不然原来是太浅了，可是。
Jaba's second B&B in Shangri-La was opening this May. He opened the first boutique travel agency in Shangri-La 15 years ago. Yet the success in business didn't bring real happiness to him.
香格里拉，它不仅仅是茶马古道的物质上的交流中心，而且在思想上也是一个非常好的交流中心。
단가 세지디 중요한 지역들이나 지구 요사리.
那么个这个，来，有一个唐卡西六长寿图，这个图里面讲的是人要怎么样长寿，然后人长寿、鸟长寿、树长寿、水长寿，马路长寿、山长寿，有6个长寿的。那人要长寿的话，你旁边的环境、山、树、水。 这些都是需要保护，才有人会长寿的。等到这个差不多消息的时候再去保护是来不及的。
In the last 10 years, Jaba was active in inheriting and promoting the culture of his hometown.
香格里拉的文化是活着的文化，香格里拉的古城是活着的古城。 他的文化，他的这个艺术是真正的活着的，不是别人造起来的，它是世世代代留下的东西，活着的东西。我要做一个，在语言上也好，在艺术也好，文化也好，商业的领域也好，这个方面要做一个很好的平台。
Today, Jaba Gedan specially goes to visit a xianzi player, a 3-stringed plucked musical instrument player. Xuanzi is a traditional musical instrument popular in the Qing prefecture. It's a living art in local place today. Jaba Gedan is touched when hearing the special sound of this ancient musical instrument. But the player is getting old without a successor.
Xi的香格里拉变成了一个非常好的一个旅游目的地。当经济的发展的同时，也有一些我们的文化的一些消失，特别是年轻啊那些很不愿意去跟那个老人学，想做一个好的民间的这个文化、民间的这个音乐要传承、要保护、要发扬，这个就是我们的理想。
Since returning Shangri-La at 16, Jaba, once a wanderer overseas and now a combat man, has finally found his origin in his hometown. It's the origin of Chinese civilization, where all the ethnic groups mingle and different cultures coexist in harmony.
"敬畏自然，敬畏祖先，感恩和慈悲，这样的精神是要我们一定要坚持去做。
River crossings and meandering ancient paths tell about the majesty of history. ever since that Chinese army dedicated to eliminating the enduring impoverishment and long-standing disability in the old China crossed the Qing. Their steadfast and persistent revolutionary gene has been rooted in Chinese people in later generations. It's the great sacrifice of our ancestors that ensures the peace and happiness of our generation.